Hello there, my lovely friends. This video is about methods of teaching English. This is part 1. It's going to be helpful for all those teachers who are going to appear for TLS subject specialization for English in the month of June or in the coming batches. So this video will focus. There are different factors to consider when selecting a teaching method. Each methodology has its pros and cons. However, selecting one method depends on some factors. Let's review what those factors are. Let me highlight them for you. Factor number one is the specific reason or the purpose of learning English, either to learn it for reading, translation, or communication purposes. Depending on that, you choose a method. I'll be explaining it in the coming slide. Let's have a quick overview of all the factors. The second factor is the size of the group, because large classes need a teaching method that differs from small classes, obviously. And the third factor that depends is the learner's preferences for learning. Some prefer one way which differs from the ways of others. And the next factor is the content sometimes dictates the method. It depends on what you are teaching to your students. Is it poetry? Is it drama? Is it novel? Or is it grammar? Or is it written skills? Depending on that, you choose a particular method. And the last factor is the required preparation. So, for example, task-based learning tasks, they need more preparation than grammar translation method, which is comparatively an easier method. So let's review our first aspect of teaching methodology, that is, you choose a method according to the purpose. That what's your purpose of teaching? For example, if you're teaching reading skills, you can choose a teaching method such as skimming and scanning, which are really relevant. Using an inappropriate method would not be helpful for an English teacher. For example, reading comprehension cannot be taught through total physical response method, because it has nothing to do with teaching reading skills. So that's why it's very important to understand that which method is appropriate for teaching a particular skill. Similarly, if you're teaching skills of translation, in that scenario, using the methodology for grammar translation method would be really helpful. In part 2, I'm going to upload all the methods, traditional teaching methods in detail, and grammar translation method is one of them. Similarly, if your purpose is teaching communication skills, then using phonics methods to teach target language would be the most appropriate. For example, making your students acquainted with phonemes first and then teaching them about phonics would help them identify the target language in an easier manner. Similarly, if you want the students to develop communication skills, you can use the language experience method. For example, you can first make a list of the words that they're already familiar with. Keeping that list in mind, you can develop a story and you can make your students repeat those words with you so that they feel free to communicate, because they will not be hesitant as they are already well acquainted with those words. So this was all about choosing a method as per the purpose of teaching. Now let's move on to the next factor, which depends on choosing a particular method for teaching English, is the size of the group, because large classes need a teaching method that differs from small classes, because small groups, they complete tasks faster than larger groups and make more effective use of facts, whereas large groups, they solve problems better than small groups. They are good for getting diverse input and they're more effective in fact finding. So let me give you an example, a scenario based example. Let's say that I'm teaching a tragedy by Shakespeare, let's say Hamlet. So which method would be more appropriate as per the size of the class? Because I have a class of let's say 20 students. In this scenario, using a total physical response method will be totally irrelevant. So what can be a better choice? I can use the audio-lingual teaching method, because in this method audio visual aids are used, and the focus is on pronunciation as well, and drills are used to teach structural patterns. So I want my students to be well acquainted with Shakespearean times. I can show them a video of the play Hamlet. They can see what sort of dresses were worn by the characters. They would see what sort of language was used by Shakespearean characters, and they can see the dialogue delivery very well, and they can visualize the entire entire scenario when they watch the scene, to be or not to be, that is the question. So I'm using audio visual aids with the help of audio lingual teaching method, which will help me in quick language transfer. So this method would be more appropriate than choosing an irrelevant method. So I hope you understood what I want to tell you. Another thing to be kept in mind while choosing a teaching method is learners' preferences. We need to keep learners' preferences in mind. If you have already appeared for the pedagogy exam, that you are well acquainted with this as well, because some people are visual learners. They learn through graphs or flashcards. Some people are visually auditory learners. They learn through lecture or music or audiobooks. Some people are physical learners. They learn through physical response or hands-on experience. Similarly, some people are solitary learner. They are quiet, they're introvert, they learn as an independent individual. Some people are very social. They learn through collaboration and teams. They like group work. So some people are logical learners. They learn with set patterns and some statistics. They need rationalization and logical explanation. So depending on learning styles, I can group my students and then choose the teaching method. For visual learners, I can make them learn with the help of providing them certain links to watch videos. Similarly, for audio learners, I can provide them different audiobooks or audios of certain things. Similarly, for solitary learners, I can design assignments, or for social learners, and I can assign hands-on experiences and some collaborative activities. So this is another aspect of choosing a teaching methodology. And it also depends on the content that you are teaching. For example, if you're teaching poetry, you can use native speakers recitations, poetry recitation in the form of audiobooks. Similarly, if you're teaching English to the primary level students, then total physical response really helps, because these students learn through imitation. They copy the teacher and that retains in their memory. And if you are teaching a drama, of course, audio-lingual method can be a better choice. You can use audio-visual aid. Or if you're teaching narrative writing, maybe you can use a method like a field trip. You can take them somewhere and then you can tell them to write, visit to a beautiful place. They'll recall the entire scenario based on that, they can write it. So I chose the teaching method as per the content that I aim to teach. Also, choosing a teaching method also depends on the required preparation. For example, if you want to teach them story writing, or you're teaching them drama or novel, and you want them to know what's the setting of the story, what are the main characters, what's the conflict, what's the climate, what is the discovery taking place. So according to that, you have to prepare. You can choose the method of mind mapping. You can take printouts of mind map and give in the class. Similarly, if you want to teach your students poetry, a prerequisite of that would be to getting your students well acquainted with certain terms. What's an epic, what's a ballad, or what is dramatic irony, or what are the different figures of speech used by different poets, like simile, metaphor, personification. So it depends on what you are teaching, how you will teach, and how your students will understand, and which age group of students you are teaching. So according to that, you need a required preparation for that. So this was part one of the video, which was about the factors which are important for teaching methodology for teaching English. And part two is going to be the next video that you should watch to learn about the traditional methods of teaching, which I am going to upload today, hopefully. This was all from my side. I wish you the very best of luck for your exam. Stick around with me, because in future I'm going to upload a lot of interesting videos other than TLS pedagogy and subject specialization. And do let me know when you pass the exam. I'll be happy to know. Best of luck for your exam and see you soon.